Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The feature race at Oaklawn Park on Saturday is the Gazebo Stakes for three-year-old sprinters. Let's take a peek at this field. $90,000 is the purse. We are going 6 furlongs, a field of 8. And, Mike, there appears to be a pretty good amount of speed in this race, although the number 4 long weekend could be the speed of the speed.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm not going to argue with the pace projector, that's for sure, which has the 4 long weekend out there on the lead. I do think that horse can make the front. I guess the question is, how fast does he have to go?
Let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector, and they are expecting a fast pace. These are some swift three-year-old sprinters, but the 4 long weekend is expected to make the front, and he's been very comfortable on the lead in some of his past races. We'll begin the analysis, however, with the number 1, No Shirt, No Shoes. And, Mike, I guess that completes the trifecta because there's no service to kick around anymore, it appears. This horse last time out showed some speed, and I thought he was a little bit too fast for his own good that day. Were you surprised that he was that close to the pace?
Yeah, I mean, they did put him up there to sort of contest that pace. He was a good 3 wide most of the way in there, and just, he didn't run terribly, Dan. He just wasn't quite good enough with that kind of a trip. I thought that the runner-up in that race, Tuggle, who was part of that pace as well, ran an excellent race to be second. This horse just got tired at a big price. I guess he's going to be a big price again, and they'll probably have to try to sit with him this time.
And that has worked for him in the past. We saw that 2-back over a wet track in a maiden race, and he'll have to improve by leaps and bounds from a Beyer speed figure standpoint, but he's so lightly raced, it's not out of the question, especially if he gets the right setup. The 2 is Nucky, winner of the Grade 1 Del Mar Futurity last year. We say it all the time, though, whenever we discuss Nucky. You got to go back and watch the Del Mar Futurity because 8 Rings, the favorite, dumped the jockey. Storm the Court, who ended up winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, dumped the jockey. And after that, it was just a complete scrum, and it was won by Nucky at a gigantic price. And since then, Nucky hasn't done much running.
Right. I mean, he ran fine that day with all the advantages. And actually, his form leading up to that was pretty good, too. Since then, his form has not been good, and you just have to wonder if he's going to be able to turn it around here. I do think cutting back to sprint's a good thing for him.
The 3 is Lycan, and if this horse wasn't 20-1 last time out, I'd be a little bit more intrigued. I just wonder if perhaps last time was the time to have him, but he has the right running style for this race, and I thought he overcame a few things in there. He was kind of in behind horses on the turn. He had to alter course sharply to split 4 wide turning into the stretch, and then it looked like he had no shot at about the 170-yard marker, and he came and he ran that horse down. I thought it was a good effort for a horse that seems to be getting better.
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly a good effort. I thought he got a great trip in that race, just sort of sitting in behind 3 of them, contesting the pace in front of him. But he was very game to get up in that race. He earned a figure that suggests he could be competitive right back. And you know what, Dan? He might get the exact same trip in this race.
And he beat a couple of next out winners in that race. One of them, the 3rd place finisher, came back to score with a 90 Beyer speed figure in a non-winners at 2 life allowance. Here's Long Weekend, who could be the speed of the speed. Now, we saw him at Saratoga in the Saratoga Special, and he showed some big speed that afternoon, but he got hooked up and he paid the price against some nice 2-year-olds. Something must have happened. He missed the remainder of his 2-year-old campaign, but Tom Amoss just found a great spot for him at Sam Houston, where he was able to show his speed from the start, and they never got within hailing range. Big Beyer of 91.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here, Dan, because I think you can sort of look at him and just say, well, his 2 big wins are races where he just never faced a challenge. And then the one day when he did face a challenge in the Saratoga Special, he wasn't up for it. But he didn't run that poorly in the Saratoga Special. I didn't think. That was a fast pace. He dueled it for a long way before he got tired. I don't know. He just looks like he has a lot of talent to me. The question is he going to be able to, take some heat in this race and keep going?
Little Menace goes out for the Asmussen barn, concluded his 2-year-old campaign with a blowout maiden victory at Churchill Downs, then has a win at Oaklawn Park against non-winners of one other than optional claimers. Like the way he showed a little bit of a new dimension, Mike. He showed that he was willing to sit just off of the pace, came on the outside, got up to win over a decent field. He seems to be improving with every start, and I like that he draws outside the other main speeds. A good outside stalking trip could be coming under David Cohen.
I agree. I think this is the horse to beat in the race. His maiden win was very impressive last December, and he looked good winning last time, Dan. Yeah, the trip worked out for him, but he was very game in that race to get up. I really liked that performance from him. I think this is the horse to beat.
Marvin is the number 6. Now, I know Marvin's only lifetime victory came at Hawthorne, but he's proven he could hang with these horses at Oaklawn Park, the win at Hawthorne. I don't know. I thought his sprint two back was pretty good. He just missed a little menace. They tried to go 2 turns with him last time out. He set the pace. There was a long shot next to him. You really wasn't worried about that horse. He put him away, and then I thought he was game when he was collared in the stretch. I think the turn back works for him because it forces him to sit a bit.
I agree. I like this. I like the shorter distance for him. He ran well in that race too back then. Little Menace really had to work to beat this horse. I mean, I guess if I was going to nitpick that race, I would just say, 4 of them sort of hit the wire together. So, how do you separate any of the 4? I guess if Marvin's going to be the better price, I have no argument with anybody who wants to try to beat Little Menace with him this time.
Fly to the Bank is the number 7. This is an Oklahoma bred making his first start of the year. So he's going to have to deal with a layoff. To me, he's been working very, very quickly. Look at those bullets at Will Rogers Downs. I'm just not sure he's fast enough to compete early with a horse like Long Weekend. And if he's on a prolonged chase, he might feel the effects of that layoff in the stretch.
Yeah, that's how I looked at it too. But I, really wouldn't be too dismissive of him, Dan. He has shown good speed. He ran some good races as a 2-year-old, and his figures don't put him that far off. If he improves even a little bit, I mean, he could be a part of this thing, and he's going to be a price.
When I first printed out the PPs and I saw Bo Oxy's last line and I saw that he won his maiden by that optional claiming race by almost 15 lengths, I was like, wow. And then I realized it was a match race, and he was 2-1 in a match race.
Yeah. It's true. The horse that he beat, Predator, was 1-9. Bo Oxy was just too fast for him. I didn't care for the way he was drifting through the stretch of that race, Dan. He is 2 for 2 sprinting on dirt, though.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Gazebo Stakes, the feature race at Oaklawn on Saturday. Mike, you just think Long Weekend is too fast for these? It's hard to argue considering the way he won last time out. I just think Marvin might offer the most value in this race, cutting back in distance, low-profile jockey, Conchare only winning 3% at this meet. I think he'll come with a little bit of a run this time from the back of the pack.
I have no argument with anybody who wants to go in that direction in this race. I think that horse is a contender. I'm just going to take Long Weekend, Dan. I like his 2 wins. I realize he got loose both times, but he's looked good to me winning those races.
Competitive group of sprinters with a lot of potential. It's the Gazebo on Saturday. It's race 9 at Oaklawn with an approximate post time of 5:09 Central. Good luck.